Coming up this week on Sporting Journal Radio.
I have found about 2, maybe 3 baits that they want to eat at the moment.
Yeah, that's something you should admit on the radio, too.
I'm not the only one that sings in the boat, huh?
Yeah.
There's been some rumors, Dan, that have been going around about, for the Mississippi Flyaway, about shortening the season. Broadcasting on the Sporting Journal Radio Network, wherever you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Fish on right now.
Well, we're here at the 2024 Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic, presented by OnX. Know where you stand with OnX. And our guest now is Jeremy Smith. I fish, I hunt, and always will.
It's just a lookout for your everyday hunter, angler, and trapper that's out there.
A Fish on Forever production. This is Sporting Journal Radio. Well, there's a big old bass fishing tournament headed to Leech Lake this week. We're going to talk to a couple of the anglers that are participating in that tournament to see how they feel about fishing it, what they think they might do, and just how everything is going and how the locals might feel about a big tournament coming to Walker and the big lake there coming up this week on the show. Also talk about how Game Fair went, show you the new truck wrap if you haven't seen it, and talk about the big controversy that's taking place in North Dakota. We hit it pretty hard last week, but man, I've had some pretty big discussions on social media about that. We'll kind of explain what I've heard on there. Dan Amundsen is with us too. Dan, how's it going?
Good, doing all right. We're on 2 separate spots again, which is weird.
Yeah, logistically, this is a little more difficult this week. I'm in the Twin Cities. I've been here filming some pretty interesting stuff for Prairie Sportsman that you'll see on the next season coming up next spring, starting in March. And where are you, Dan?
I'm in Bemidji. We're at Joe Titus's house. He's rigging tackle right now, and then him and Matt Kennedy are gonna join us on the show, filming the Bassmaster Open again, like we did in Kentucky Lake. I will say it's a lot nicer to be 4 hours from home and staying in a familiar spot in a familiar city with familiar people than traveling 15 hours across country.
Hey, Kentucky Lake was awesome. That was
awesome,
but it is. I mean, you've been just living at your cabin for a week prior to this, so it must be tough.
Yeah, well, it was tough to leave the cabin because now I'm looking at other houses, listening to chainsaws. There's still a ton of cleanup happening up here right now with the storms and whatnot. And as a matter of fact, this worked out pretty well. Joe was supposed to get a new roof today, so we're gonna maybe have to punt and move locations. And there's no roof getting put on. They had vehicle problems, so here we are. Worked out well for us.
All right. Well, let's hit the sponsors and we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on this week.
This week's show brought to you by Lake of the Woods Tourism. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world. Fish there this summer at lakeofthewoodsmn.com. On X Hunt, see private land boundaries, offline maps, and more. Take 20% off a new membership with the code SJR20. Haybell Heights Campground and Resort. Fish Devil's Lake this summer at Haybell Heights. Learn more at haybellheights.com. Tasman Lake Lodge. Catch world record lake trout and giant pike at Saskatchewan's Tasman Lake. Learn more at tasmanlake.com. Prairie Sportsman, the new season is over, but you can watch episodes anytime at the Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel. And Trails End Outfitters, trophy bear, walleyes, and whitetails in Saskatchewan. Visit trailsendoutfitters.com.
Well, a lot going on right now. And last week we talked about the new regulation changes for waterfowl hunters. Not just non-resident waterfowl hunters in North Dakota, but also resident waterfowl hunters. And if you are a resident or a non-resident that plans on hunting waterfowl in North Dakota, you have to make sure you get their electronic stamp. That's new. That came out after August 1st. So if you bought your license as a resident in North Dakota prior to August 1st, you will still have to go get that stamp. So make sure that you do that. This segment, by the way, brought to you by Trails End Outfitters, offering trophy whitetail and black bear and fishing on Tobin Lake. Visit trailsendoutfitters.com to find out more about planning a trip up there and catching some big fish and shooting nice deer and some really cool color phase black bears or black bears with a white patch. trailsendoutfitters.com. So, I lost my notes here. I got to bounce back to this right now. So there was a couple of things. There's been some rumors, Dan, that have been going around about for the Mississippi Flyaway about shortening the season. A lot of people on social media have been calling for 30-day seasons and four duck bag limits per day. And boy, I posted about that on my Facebook page, and that got people all sorts of riled up.
Yeah, keep talking amongst yourself while I change a camera battery, apparently.
So a lot of people think that duck populations are hurting. So we need to shorten the season and shorten our bag limits. And boy, I'll tell you what, I had a lot of people that commented, and myself included, that think that's just a bad idea in a sense. Shortening the season, I don't think that's necessary. These biologists have told us for years that hunting doesn't affect the overall population. And sure, if you want to say the population is down, then why should hunting necessarily be restricted? I don't want to see any ducks wiped out, of course. Blue-winged teal, the Minnesota survey came out, said they were down 60%. It's the lowest they've been surveyed in 30 years. But the other ducks, I'd have to look to see what they considered other ducks. Dan, maybe you remember this, but wood ducks were in there, and some of the other ducks in Minnesota were up 116%. So unless all the other ducks were tree nesters or slough nesters, and grass nesters just had a bad year, which would be mallards too, the puddle ducks, unless there was so much CRP gone or mowed or burned or flooded that those grass nesters had such a tough spring, I feel like that number's flawed. Now, I don't know. I haven't talked to any biologists. I don't know. And I don't know where they're getting this idea that we need to shorten the season or lower the limits. But I don't know. It sounds like the 60-day season's been around for about 30 years. I don't know how people would take that if we're trying to get more and more people into the outdoors. I don't know. I think there's other reasons at play here, whether it be some dry conditions, whether it be later freeze-ups, whether it's early teal seasons moving birds, whether it's early goose seasons moving birds. But I think there's a lot of factors at play that should be considered before we start shortening our regular waterfowl season in the Mississippi Flyway.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot of why people are screaming about a shorter season, or haven't heard as much of that as you have, but I guess I haven't recalled the last couple of years driving around. We're fortunate enough, we get to drive through North Dakota, drive through Canada in the spring and summer. So we get to see the birds there, and there hasn't been too many times we've done that, or a time at all where it's like, man, where are the ducks at? It's usually, there's a pile in Manitoba, there's a pile in Saskatchewan, or like last year, there's this pile just in North Dakota, or they're all in Minnesota. So I don't know. I guess, and granted, I'm using just anecdotal evidence, but there hasn't also been a fall where I'm like, man, there's just no ducks anywhere. They're always somewhere. Maybe they don't fly through the same area you want them to, so you think population's down just because they didn't come through, but they've always been somewhere. So I'm not, I don't know, I'm not quite sure on a good rationale for lowering a limit or shortening a season.
Lots of waterfowl talk at Game Fair the opening weekend. Actually, I went to a waterfowl party Saturday night out there and got to talk ducks. That never gets old. I love it. Game Fair was interesting. It was hot this year. I sat in the Mid-Migration Outfitters booth with Tony Crotty. Thankfully, I only went Sunday because Friday and Saturday, I think the weather was a little bit tougher. There was some rain and some storms, but Sunday was pretty nice, just warm. But it was funny, Dan. I got the new truck wrap on the Fundra. Got it from Jamie Dittman at Brainerd Signs. He did an awesome job. Got down there Saturday night, parked it in the hotel parking lot, took a picture, and then put something on social media, I think on Snapchat. And I said, all right, new wrap is out. If you see the truck at Game Fair or drive around the cities this weekend, take a picture of it, send it to me. We'll put you in a contest. I don't know what the contest is going to be just yet. It was no sooner than, I bet 2 minutes later, I had a picture of that truck in the hotel parking lot sent to me.
Perfect.
So it's going to stand out. It's going to be a good one. I'm real cool. I don't know if you probably don't have a picture of it loaded up, but no. You can see it on my social media pages or whatever. And we'll put some on the website. By the way, right after putting that new wrap on and driving it around the Twin Cities, our website crashed. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or related or not, but we have a new website, Dan.
We do. I haven't gotten to look at it yet. I've been a little preoccupied up here. So I'll have to go check that out.
I want to thank some of the guys at the Ugly Dog booth at Game Fair, by the way. They had collars, so I got a new collar for Tiny because I got to Game Fair and realized I didn't have a regular collar that I needed to, attach a leash to walk her around with. I'd forgotten one. So I bought a new collar, and then they did, I'm not going to show this because it's got my phone number on it, but they engraved some you could get some nameplates engraved. $20 for the collar and a nameplate engraved on it.
Nice.
At Game Fair. So if you go out this weekend, it's a pretty good deal.
It's kind of funny you don't want to give away your phone number, but I'm pretty sure your phone number is probably on our brand new website.
I think it might be. But anyway, also saw some pretty cool stuff from like Lucky Duck had some kind of cool water stuff going on there. I was surprised. We don't have enough time to get into this right now, so maybe we'll do it next week on the show, Dan. But I was surprised about all the new waterfowl companies out there that I'd never heard of before. Now, I hadn't really been to Game Fair much the last few years, but all the old stalwarts that have been there for years have been replaced. I mean, there's still a couple old school guys there. Some of the old companies that you know of, the big ones are there, but there's definitely a lot of these new, almost niche waterfowl companies that you haven't heard of, bouncing around, call companies and so forth. So it was a great time, though. I'm glad I went. Might even get back out there this weekend. I'm still in the Twin Cities, so you might be able to stop by and see me at the Mid-Migration Outfitters booth this weekend at Game Fair and look for that truck. All right, Dan's in Bemidji Dan's in, where are you at? You're in Bemidji? You're in Bemidji right now. Hanging out with Joe Titus and Matt Kennedy. They're fishing the Bassmaster Open tournament that's taking place on Leech this week. We'll talk to them about the experience when we come back. If you want to catch a big walleye, go where the big walleyes are. Lake of the Woods is the walleye capital of the world, with a variety of resorts and lodging facilities offering full-service fishing. Lake of the Woods is also home to sturgeon, sauger, perch, trophy pike, muskie, smallmouth bass, burbot, and more. Plan your trip to Lake of the Woods today. Go to lakeofthewoodsmn.com. That's lakeofthewoodsmn.com. All right, we're back here on Sporting Journal Radio. Thanks for tuning in on the radio network. By demand, maybe you're downloading this on at your favorite podcast service, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. We're heading back up to Bemidji right now. Dan's up there along with Joe Titus and Matt Kennedy. What's going on, fellas?
Not a whole lot. I'm just trying to stay out of the heat right now.
It's not that warm. It's like 70 degrees.
I was pretty warm out there.
Gets a little toasty in the sun.
Yeah.
It's like the most beautiful day we're going to have all week.
70 sounds great because it is very warm, much warmer where I'm at right now. And we probably talked about this in the intro, but I lost my Al Claire in-ear monitors, and I just went searching for them. And according to my watch, I put in a pretty good workout running around there. So I'm all sweaty. It's hot.
Well, you sweat when it's over like 32 degrees, so
that's very true. That's very true. But I haven't been in a boat lately, and that's what you guys have been doing up there. You're gearing up for the big tournament this weekend. How are things looking, guys?
They're looking pretty good. The fish they're cooperating, so that's just good because last year they felt the pressure. You can tell they're feeling the pressure again this year, but it's setting up to be a little bit better than it was last year, and I think the weights will show that.
Well, what's going on? It's a Bassmaster Open up on Leech this weekend?
Yep. I'd have to say kind of the same as Joe there. You can tell the ones that have seen the pressure a little bit, but most of them are cooperating a little bit anyway. So, yeah, it should be a good Open. I'm thinking, I don't know how many boats are doing it this time. But
214, I think. Yeah. That's what I read this morning.
Yeah, should be quite a few boats running around catching a lot of fish, hopefully.
214. Dan, didn't we talk about this before that Leech? I mean, it's a big lake, but that's a lot of boats running around out there.
Yeah, well, especially, I mean, we just saw it right away yesterday. There's only so many spots to go fish, and there's multiple boats on each one, I feel like, so.
Yeah, like it's tough to get to every boulder you want to. It's like, oh, there's 12 guys on that point. Let's go to the next one.
Don't want to show them everything either, and then you know, the wind plays the biggest factor in that lake because if it's flat calm like it is today, it'll spread them out a little bit. I mean, there'll still be boats that you want to get on, but it's way more fishable than 20 out of the south or whatever that may be.
Yeah, tomorrow will be fun.
Yeah. How's the forecast looking for the weekend?
I think tomorrow we're looking at like 10 to 12 in the morning and then up to 18 constant, but we have wind gusts up to 30 or something ridiculous like that. So we're probably not going tomorrow. I hope we do, but we probably won't.
I think Friday and Saturday looked.
Yeah, they look gorgeous. So
yeah.
We should get 2 days, which is better than average so far.
Yeah. I was really hoping because the only Open to have actually gone all 3 days so far was the one we were at in Kentucky Lake. So I was really hoping it was just us who were the good luck charms, but I don't think so.
It hasn't helped the fish.
Maybe it's you, Bret, since you're not here.
It's probably me. Usually is.
Yeah.
So you're pre-fishing, and then competition starts. Is it Friday is when it matters?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So Thursday.
If it's still on, not canceled.
Also, there's a chance for it being canceled. Okay.
I'm guessing so.
Tomorrow,
with
yeah.
that wind, yeah, he's canceled it last year because of wind.
10
days.
Right now, 10 a.m., it's forecasted on my wind finder app, 12 miles an hour, max 31
Ooh.
out of the southeast. So it's gotten worse.
Yeah, we'll see you on Friday.
Yeah.
And then Friday, everybody fishes, and then just people that make the cut on Saturday?
If we go a full 3 days. If we don't, it'll be full field both days. So there won't be a cut if we just fish the 2 days.
Gotcha.
Does that mean we get cut ice cream no matter what? Or miss the cut ice cream no matter what?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, I like it.
All right, so you guys know this lake pretty well, right? How many out of 214 boats, how many people out there, like how many Minnesotans are there? How many people do you think know this lake, as well as you guys do?
Well, I can look up the answer to how many Minnesotans are out there, but I would say
Fothergill.
we don't say that name in this household. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I love Easton. There's probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys that have the amount of time that we do out there. But a lot of it isn't recent history. It's just older Minnesota guys that have been around for a while. So we still got a pretty good advantage. We just have to play into it right.
Yeah, I would say me and Joe both have a lot of dots and a lot of the same dots even, but it's still going to be really tough, and even with that much time we've spent out there, I still wouldn't doubt it's a possibility to get our butt kicked. But
yeah, we got
try.
34 Minnesotans out of my list says 212, but that may or may not be accurate because they sent that out a couple weeks ago.
Maybe they can't count that high yet.
I don't know.
How does Minnesota rank when it comes to like these bass tournaments? When there's it's weird. Last time we saw you guys was down in Kentucky at Kentucky Lake, and obviously there's a lot of bass anglers in the South, a lot of tournament anglers. There's also quite a few from Minnesota. When you come back to Minnesota, obviously it must be nice to be in your backyard, but is that almost add some pressure? Does that mean that there's going to be more guys that also have grew up fishing this lake? How different is it fishing back home as it was, fishing on the road somewhere?
I think it adds a little more pressure because everyone looks at Joe and I have both won tournaments on Leech. So they're like, oh, you guys should do pretty good then. You're from Minnesota, right? And it's like, in theory, but it also puts a lot of pressure on our shoulders because it's like everyone's saying that you should do good, and sometimes it's not the case. But hopefully we can make it work out.
I think I felt the pressure more last year than I do this year. We didn't fish to where we should have last year.
Who's we?
Me, myself, and I. There's 3 of me in the boat sometimes, and that's how my brain works because I can't make decisions some days. But like I was saying, I think I felt more pressure last year, and this year so far I just haven't. I don't want to say there's not as much care because I care more even, but I don't know. I just feel like there's not as much weight, and I'm just gonna go do what I have to do, kind of deal.
There was some prep work we saw you guys go through getting ready for the Kentucky Lake tournament. Matt, did you decide to get a new motor before this tournament too?
No, I'm still running the old trusty one we got when we were down there, and it's been good. So hopefully, crossing my fingers, it continues to get me where I need to go. But
Joe's got basically a brand new boat after his last tournament.
Oh, really?
And then his dog's crashing the party here.
Yeah.
Hi, Pike.
He might chew on a pig or two and scratch.
It's a
the floor.
dog-friendly show. It's all right.
Yeah.
100%.
What's the story with your boat, Joe?
Oh, we went out to a Bass Nation regional championship. Bass Nation Regional Open on Lake Erie, and we launched out of the west side of Erie. That was, again, supposed to be a 3-day event that went 1 day because they put us on Erie. But long story short, I ended up running up to St. Clair, and on the morning run up, the waves were moderately big, moderately small, they were movable but not pleasant. And I broke a Raptor bracket or power pole bracket off of my boat, and that Raptor is now in the bottom of Lake St. Clair. In that process, it punched a hole through the back. At that process, it punched a hole through the back of my motor cowling.
Oh, dang.
And then on the way back, I cracked the other bracket. Didn't lose that pole, thankfully, and I broke a couple other minuscule things. But
dashboard almost fell out.
Yeah, my dashboard did punch me in the hands on the way back, and then I took all my graphs off. It was the biggest waves I've ever been in, and I don't ever plan to go in waves like that ever again. It was not fun, and it wasn't scary because you can get anywhere you want in these boats for the most part if you know how to drive. And I think I know how to drive some days. Like, I stayed dry, but I almost went backwards at one point in time. But so it's just is what it is. It was 16 miles, and it took 2 hours to get there. So that tells you how bad they were.
Wow. Well, I mean, you can get around in them, but it's so hard on gear. Like, not just your boat, but your back, your body. But fishing gear, too, just takes a beating. Man, so did you have, what have you replaced on the boat or fixed on the boat then? All that stuff, I'd assume.
One new Raptor, 2 new brackets, the actual Minn Kota branded brackets now. I put a new dash panel on the front, and then I put a new motor cowling on. So that was about it. And I've had a little bit of work done to my motor because it went submerged at one point in time. So, yeah, so I had a little corrosion issue going on, but I think we got that straightened away now.
You'll have to tell Bret of what happened.
I can explain that. So,
well, hang on just a second. Let's take a break, and we'll come back with that story. And I mean, these are some of the things you don't hear about when you think about tournament angling. And everyone, oh man, I want to go fish tournaments. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna make so much money. This is the side of it you don't always hear about. More with Joe and Matt and Dan when we come back. Sick of eating tag soup? It's time to own your odds this fall with OnX Hunt, the GPS hunting app trusted by millions of hunters. Now you'll have access to nationwide public and private land ownership information, waypoints, optimal wind for each stand, tracks, and much more. All at your fingertips. Go to onxmaps.com/hunt and use code SJR20 at checkout to receive 20% off your membership. That's code SJR20. All right, Joe Titus, Matt Kennedy, Dan, myself here with you on the Sporting Journal Radio podcast talking about the Bass Open tournament on Leech Lake coming up this weekend and how the guys are gearing up for it. But, Joe, you were fishing a tournament on Erie, had some issues. We talked about it before the break. And then there was another story you're going to tell. What else happened?
Yeah, so just to kind of put into perspective how large the waves got, I'm sitting in Lake St. Clair on the south end. It was about noon, and I heard a big boom, and I turned around, and the sky over Erie was black. And I was like, oh, we got to go.
It was kind of eerie?
It was a little eerie. Yes, it was. So
I did there.
We strapped everything down, took off, made it through the river, hit the mouth at about 2 hours of run time left, and which was that 16 miles I was talking about. And there was guys sitting there just not going to do it. They just sat in the mouth of the river, dropped off co-angler, went and got an Uber, and got pulled out.
Wow.
I was not that smart. I went for it, along with majority of the field, but I hit one wave that, I don't know, some people might call it a rogue wave. I think it was just a hair taller than the rest of them. But I had a co-angler in the boat that had a bad back, now that you mention that. So he was having a great day. I was kind of running at an angle that I couldn't see him like perfectly, and he could see like down the edge of the boat, and all I hear is big one, and I'm like, well, they're all big. And I was riding so the nose of my boat wouldn't, fall down, because then if you fall down in those big waves, the next one's going to come over the top. So I was riding up, and I'd kind of drop down. And when I hit the big one, I hit it, and I did not go down, I went backwards, my nose of my boat lifted up, and I went straight down like a bobber. Jeez. And I could feel the water on my back. So my back half of my boat went submerged with my motor and the one Raptor I had left at the time. Yeah, and then I luckily popped forward and a wave came over the front, so we sat there in bilge water for like 20 minutes. But so they were large, and I wasn't the only one that had damage. I think probably there was 200 boats, and I bet you 199 of them had damage, and that one guy that might have been sick that day that didn't get damage.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of brilliant. I mean, I'm sure if I was in that situation, the thought would probably cross my mind too, to maybe pull out, grab an Uber and just go get the truck. I bet your co-angler suggested it afterwards, like maybe we should have done that. He was just thankful that I got him back alive. He looked at me like 8 miles in after a couple grunts and telling me he couldn't take it anymore. But he looked at me and he's like, I don't care if we make it, just keep us alive. And I was like, well, that was the plan for the last 8 miles here. So it was, I mean, it wasn't worth it in the end, but I thought we would maybe fish another day, and the weight I had was close enough that I was close to check range. I think I would have done better the second day. I just kind of ran out of time and didn't quite move when I needed to. So, but that's the way tournament fishing goes. So. Yeah. So, I mean, you had to do that if you wanted to keep your fish, right? I mean, that you would have pulled over and called an Uber. That pretty much counts you out for the day.
Yeah, that's a big fat zero. They don't move the weigh-in stage for you because you're scared.
What if you keep the fish alive though in the bag in the Uber?
Can't trailer.
Come on. Well, you're not trailering. You're in an Uber. You're not. Your boat's not on the trailer.
So
if you just have a bag. There. And yeah, you just hop in the back of the Uber with your bag of fish and you keep them alive.
I will call Hank and maybe we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we do that on Leech Stand?
We can just park a car at every access and then we can just take it.
Great idea. Yeah.
He'll never know.
Well, no, he'll know because we'll tell him. This is what we're going to do as long as he okays it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to okay it. I think we should just do it.
That's what you want to say on a podcast the day before a tournament.
No, we don't do that.
We wouldn't do that.
Jokes.
I wonder if that would go down, like, from an Uber driver's perspective, if he would say, this is one of the weirdest things I've ever had in my car right now.
Oh, yeah.
A bag of fish?
A bag of tournament fish.
Just think of the small talk you could have with that guy. So how long you been Ubering? Well, how long you been bass fishing? How long have you owned 5 smallmouth?
You got to keep in mind, we're in Detroit. I don't know if the Uber driver would relate very much, but probably you never know.
Well, Detroit's a big fishing hub.
Mm-hmm. That's what I hear.
Man, Great Lakes. How was other than the wind and the damage to your boat? How was the tournament out on Erie?
It was fun. I mean, I love Lake St. Clair, so I didn't spend a ton of time in Erie, just because I have history in St. Clair and it's just a better overall fishery. But I mean, I caught what I thought could have been tournament winning fish in practice, and that's what I went to. But it was setting up. It didn't set up as good as the elites. For the elites, they were just there, but they were a little more scattered. But when you found them, they were the right ones. So no complaints. Love that lake. It's one of the best places in the world, in my opinion.
Matt, what have you been fishing lately?
I did Fort Francis Canadian Bass Championship. That would have been right around when Joey was at Erie, right?
Same week.
Yeah, same week. That was pretty tough. We did it with Ben. We had fun, I guess, and I think we were on the right fish. We just only would get 1 or 2 a day instead of 5. So, but we still had fun. That's about.
What did you break?
I didn't break anything, actually. I don't think.
Smaller lake, smaller waves.
No, it's actually. I would say. I mean,
it's the size of Lake Erie?
No way.
No, it is not.
I was going to say, we need to look at a map.
It's large.
Yeah, Rainy Lake, the hidden 4th Great Lake right above Erie.
I mean, it's big, and it can get bumpy, but not Lake Erie bumpy. And Joe actually made the comment, he always gives me crap about Rainy, but he's like, man, maybe you actually should have done the Fort Francis that week. And I said, yeah, you probably would have saved a lot of money, but that would have been way too smart, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm. Much too smart.
Well, how's that work, Joe? I mean, what does your insurance cover some of that, or what? You know, when you tournament fish and you're spending a lot of money on gear, on boats, things like that, what kind of insurance do they recommend you get, and how much of that gets covered?
A lot of companies have like a tournament package now, so it's like a preset. I think most of what they're talking about is like you have to have 300,000 in liability and 100,000 in something else and so forth. But you can put insurance on all your accessories. So I way over insure myself because I'm really good at breaking things. So yeah, they wrote me a really, really healthy check that covered everything.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No money out of my pocket, just a little time.
So did your premiums go up though?
I think I'm going to get dropped pretty soon here. They haven't got the second part of that, which is the little bit of fiberglass damage that I had from said tournament. So maybe we'll find out.
So if anyone out there sells boat insurance and needs a new customer,
they don't want me as a customer.
Well,
You're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah, that's something you should admit on the radio too.
Yeah,
this is going great for you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. They've already had me as a customer one time or another.
Oh boy.
So Kentucky Lake, that's when we saw you guys last. That was your last
knocked that lamp over, by the way.
Whoa.
Just watching it rattle in the background.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I set this up for this for the show today. It's in a precarious position, and it's my parents' lamp. They would not be happy for that.
Your mom would. That might be the first time I'd see your mom angry if you broke that lamp. That thing's older than me, I think.
It's a cool lamp, though, I think. So
oh, yeah. I remember it at the lake.
Yeah, I thought it'd be cool to have in the background.
Anyways.
Anyway, Kentucky Lake was the last time we had you guys on. Since then, that was in early March. What have you guys, did you learn anything from, I don't know if we've talked about how Kentucky Lake went for you guys. We have the video that you can watch on the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel of you guys being out there. That was kind of a tough go, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tough tournament. It was still fun to be down there. At least we had like 3 days of not tornadoes or, other weather. It was just a little bit windy, and I learned a lot, I would say, in that tournament. Fish is a lot different than anything up here. So it was fun, and I took some of that stuff that I learned down there and brought it home, and I would say I used some info from like Sam Rayburn, Norfolk, and Kentucky, and I took a little piece of each lake and brought it home with me, and I would say it worked a little bit on some lakes up here too, because it kind of expands your mind, and you look at things a little bit different after seeing some of those different lakes in different states.
I'll agree with Matt. I don't think there's necessarily like a specific technique that I brought back, just because when you get to a point, you never know everything, but you get to a point where it's not necessarily like, ooh, somebody won on this bait and I've never heard of that, I'm gonna go buy it. I mean, that does happen, but it's more of just the overarching time on the water in different environments. That's what you take back with you, not necessarily like a fishing skill, just kind of a more of a mental breakdown, mental skill on how to approach different bodies of water.
Yeah, and I would say like on Sam Rayburn too, a lot of those fish traveled in like a ditch, because it's a man-made reservoir or whatever. But like I looked at my lake back home, Rainy, and like I'm like, gosh, maybe those fish will move in something like that up here. And sure enough, I went to a couple of places like that, and there's fish roaming like there was in Texas, and I'm like, well, that's kind of neat. But
go fish ditches,
yeah,
guardrails,
random chunks of metal.
I think Kentucky Lake, we got to take another break here, but I think Kentucky Lake had one of the weirdest weather experiences. We're talking a little bit about weather, but one of the weirdest things I've seen in weather happen at Kentucky Lake is that's when it was raining mud, raining dirt.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, why did you bring that up?
Yeah. So gross.
Hopefully that doesn't happen on Leech this weekend. We're going to talk more about the Bassmaster Open tournament on Leech Lake when we come back. Now is the time to start thinking about chasing big walleyes on Devil's Lake. Get on the fish at Haybale Heights Campground and Resort. Haybale Heights makes it easy for you to make memories on legendary Devil's Lake with guided fishing and lodging packages. Or bring your own boat and rent one of their cabins on East Bay. Haybale Heights offers a private marina, fish cleaning station, and the opportunity to relax and enjoy your bucket list trip to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. To book your trip, visit haybaleheights.com. That's haybaleheights.com. We're back. Joe Titus, Matt Kennedy joining us here on the show, getting ready for the big tournament on Leech Lake this weekend. Guys, this tournament, they had one on Leech last year as well. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct.
And you fished it. Did you guys both fish it last year?
Matt did not. I did.
How did it go?
Not super well. I think I was doing the right things, but I was just running a little too much history. I stuck in areas where there was too many boats and it didn't expand with how the weather was. I just kind of went off of the years I've had. One thing that everybody always says is it's the hardest thing to do is win on your home lake. I proved that last year. It was difficult. The man who should not be named did not prove that theory.
Someone proved it was pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, he was doing something different than everybody else, but the secret's out now, and 40% of the field is up in the shallows this year, so it won't be as easy for him this year. It could be, but I'm going to assume it'll be a little trickier now.
Yeah, how much do we want to talk about? When is this going to air down as compared? I mean, can we talk about how pre-fishing has gone or anything?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, just keep in mind, someone could listen to this on the way to the ramp tomorrow morning. Just don't drop any waypoints.
Just don't tell us anything about the lake. We can tell you about the lake.
Brett knows nothing about it. Brett, do you even like Leech? I feel like you don't.
I have fished Leech, I think, twice in my life. I don't
want to hear about it.
I was on Leech, well, and we were walleye fishing, so unless you're going out there with Lindy rigs, it's not going to matter.
I think we're good.
But I think the last time I was on Leech, I was there for the Eel Pout Festival, and I'm pretty sure there were no holes drilled in the ice.
That sounds like Eel Pout Festival.
Don't know if I can help you out at all there or not, but no, I fished with Jason Freed one time out there. I think we were
careful what you say.
I think it was with Jason and Jake Flaw, and I was doing an article for the magazine or something, and we were walleye fishing, and it was actually pretty tough fish, and we caught one or two really nice fish, but otherwise it was pretty tough. But I can honestly say I've never caught a bass on that lake. Couldn't tell you the first thing about where to go or what to do. So there you go. There's your tip.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Noted expert.
Yeah. And I'm only saying that because of the tournament. Otherwise, I'm really good at it.
No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not. But yeah, I mean, is it? So you guys have been doing some pre-fishing, and you can say as much as you want. Don't say anything if you want to. I understand that there's some tournament fishing going on, but I mean, has it fished the way you thought it would, or have you had to go? Oh man, maybe I should try this weekend or this week.
I would say it's fishing. I don't know, pretty typical for Joe and I. Like, we're throwing a bait that we usually can catch them on when they're being a little tough. I'm not going to say it quite yet if this does air in the morning. Maybe Joe wants to. I don't know.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
We'll have you on after you win, then you can spill all the secrets. Or it'll all just be in a Fish Hunt Forever video no matter what in a little bit. So
he's already taking pictures of my baits.
Yeah. Well, then you can post them after the tournament if Joe wins.
Yeah.
But
if he doesn't, it'll really be even better.
Yeah, then go ahead and everybody and their brother can throw those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
and then I'll switch back to the other 3 baits that Joe and I throw, and one of them will work.
There's people in their cars right now just like, tell me what you're using already. Quit fiddling around it. It's driving them nuts, which is good.
Well, I do have one tip for you guys. It was something I used at Tazen. It was a secret lure. It worked. It was surprising how well it ended up working. It took me a minute. I had to tweak it, you know. Sometimes you have to take a lure, you have to look at it, use it a little bit and give it a little tweak here and there. The Topwater Suicide Loon.
Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work great.
That'll get her done.
I've caught one bass on one smallmouth anyway on Leech in my life on Topwater. So
yeah.
I don't know if
for anybody listening, throw Topwater tomorrow.
Yeah,
they love Topwater on Leech Lake.
Secret bait actually.
Well, let's talk. Maybe you guys don't want to talk about this, but let's talk about how, like, just kind of the structure of the tournament this weekend. I don't want you guys to say anything that's going to get you in trouble or anything, but how do you think this, like, having this tournament on Leech, how it's set up, how it's designed to go? Are you guys happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I wish it was a little bit different time of year. I'm really glad they avoid the spawn up here, but it's a good time to be on the lake. It gets better the later in the year it gets. So they could have pushed it back even farther, but that would screw up their scheduling. But yeah, I mean, there's fish from 2 to, like, I will say I caught a smallmouth in 27 feet of water during practice. So they're spread out. The majority are definitely in a particular range. I'm not going to say said range. The nice part about Leech at the moment is, I don't know what Matt's found, but I have found about 2, maybe 3 baits that they want to eat at the moment. I think some of it's stuff they've never seen, and I think some of it is just using a little bit more discreet baits, you might say. So that's a little bit of a nice advantage for us, is we're able to go into the crowds and still catch fish. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not like you're alone, but it's some little things like that give us an advantage. And this time of year, when they're a little bit more skeptical, it helps a lot.
What kind of boundaries do you have with Leech? Like, where can you fish?
Well, since you're the expert on the lake, Lake Benedict, if you know where that's at, between Cabacona and Benedict, there's a bridge. We cannot cross that bridge. If you can figure out a way to maneuver through the rice, we can't run through rice. If you can figure out a way to maneuver the rice, you can run up to Steamboat, but you cannot cross that bridge. And then they cut off somewhere for
the Boy
River. Yeah, I don't know where the line is,
bridge.
But the bridge.
You can go up the river a little bit, but you can't go past the bridge.
So don't go underneath any bridges, and nobody's gonna get mad at you.
Yeah, I think you can fish Chingabee too, right? All that, and just you can't go past.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
is you can go under that bridge.
Yeah, we can go under that. No,
yeah, you can. Yeah, right by the restaurant, and then the bridge on the little cut.
If that answers the question, if I'm going under Chingabee, I will not be going in there.
Yeah, that's well, unless we're getting lunch. If we had such a good day.
Yeah, go get lunch. Pizza.
What's pizza weight? 25?
27 is pizza weight.
Oh, I've caught that one time in Leech Lake.
That's the thing with you guys?
If you guys see me at Chingabee at noon eating food.
Yeah.
Do they even have pizza?
I don't know, but that's like the joke.
We used to joke in high school, like we'd set pizza weight, and if you caught it during one of our college events, you were done. So you just run back and go get pizza.
Yeah, like
I don't think anybody got pizza, but I did one time get close to pizza. I said pizza weight, and I sent my buddies a video, but I didn't go get pizza. I was having too much fun.
Gussie did that once. He was on Rainy, and he got like 22 pounds, 21 pounds, went back, ordered pizza at 11 o'clock.
That would be so nice. And terrible for filming, but so nice.
And then he went back again. I think the second day, ordered pizza again. He just like killed everybody. it was pretty funny.
What a cocky dude.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to catch bass.
No, not at all. Never.
Know anything about it.
No.
So where, like, do you have, in case you have to get off and take an Uber, do you have accesses and do you have that planned out?
I mean, there's a lot of accesses on the lake, which is nice. Like Joe and I have been able to strategically put in each day at a different, I think we've put in a different place every day. Yeah. And so if it does get like terrible or something, I can probably make a phone call, and there's always a ramp you can make it back to.
I don't think there's ever going to be a day where we can't navigate on that lake.
No.
It can be blowing 30, and you just got to stick the nose up. They're never going to get bigger than 6 foot out there. So.
I've seen them pretty.
Yeah, they weren't over 6.
It's a big lake, but as far as lakes go, it's not that.
Yeah, it's not an Erie or anything.
It feels like 4 different lakes in one. Right?
They are very hard to run out their waves because they come from 3 different directions typically.
Wind likes to swirl.
It can be blowing out of the west, and the waves are coming from the north, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or,
it's very confusing.
It is. Yeah, you're like, put your hand up in the air, and it's like it's hitting me in the hand, but the waves are off my left.
Yeah. I've had a lot of days where I put the boat in.
It doesn't make sense.
Go look at the lake and go, I wouldn't have come here if I knew this is what it looked like.
Yeah.
Fun lake. Great lake. I love Leech.
Mm-hmm.
So where is it being hosted? And then, if I remember right, I think you guys can put it anywhere, right? And then just motor to take off, or do you have to all go out of the same place?
No, we can.
3 different ramps.
Yeah, we can go Shingabee, the main Walker one, and then Cabacona, right?
Yep.
Yeah, those 3 are the only 3 we can use for this one. Then they have like designated parking areas and stuff like that. So
weigh-ins at the Walker City dock.
Yes.
Right? Yep.
Right by the Chase.
Right by Chase on the lake. Yeah.
Walker, I think, is kind of going all out this week. It's kind of cool. They're bringing in live music. They're doing a meet and greet today, I think, with some of the anglers. I think the fire department's having a fish fry on Friday. They've got a whole docket of events happening this week through town. So kind of cool when an event like this comes to a small town and they embrace it and enjoy it. So it should be a fun few days down there.
It's hard to even drive through town right now.
Yeah, well, it's like that on a normal summer day.
Well, I know, but like
that you add 200 boats.
Yeah, it's especially hard right now. It's like, holy crap, it takes 10 minutes.
I've seen trailers yesterday, saw trailers parked in places I never thought I'd see trailers parked at the Erickson ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hopping ramps or hopping curbs. And one guy at the city ramp in Walker just decided to just spin around in the grass instead of learning how to back in his trailer, apparently. Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
You do you, man.
They surprise me every time.
Southerners are crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You got Oklahoma, Texas. Every license plate's different. And, they just sometimes just don't care and do their own thing.
I think we have 32 states competing.
That's wild.
And then 4 different countries. So we got
Japan, Australia, Canada, and United States.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that brings up another question. All 3 of you obviously have spent a lot of time on this lake, spent a lot of time in that area. How, as a local, someone that fishes that lake all year round, and then obviously, family and friends that are locals around that area, how do they feel about a tournament like this coming there?
I think the town embraces it a lot. I mean, there's probably certain people, just like in every aspect, that don't love the people, but the town really embraces it. Like Dan was saying, there's a whole docket of things going on. The city of Walker does a really good job hosting. They do a really good job organizing everything. Bassmaster has their pieces that they do for everyone. Like there's always a church service and a couple other things to do. But even comparing last year's Leech tournament to the rest of the tournaments that I've fished through bass, the amount of people that showed up was incredible. We had, I don't know the exact number. Somebody probably has a number on it, but they were comparing it to the Elite Series weigh-ins as far as how many people were there just to support. I mean, it's there's pictures. It's cool. I mean, there was probably 2,000-3,000 people in weigh-in, and it wasn't a very big area. Bunch of vendors go down, and that just things that don't typically happen during these weigh-ins. So it's really fun to see. I think that's the small town aspect that likes to show out. Walker's a fishing community. It always has been. It always will be. A lot of walleye guys showing up. A lot of muskie guys. Different walks of life. Everybody's just there because we all like to fish. So it's cool to see.
That's probably why it's this time of year instead of later, because what Walker probably said to Bassmaster, hey, our Walker on a random Tuesday in August or July is probably as busy as a Saturday. There's people at their cabins, there's people at resorts. As soon as school starts, Labor Day happens, Walker's almost a ghost town. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that's why they wanted it this time of year, because there's going to be people from Hackensack and Akeley and Longville and Grand Rapids and Bemidji coming all down just to see this because they're already up here versus, Kentucky Lake in March down in Paris. I don't know what people in Paris, Tennessee do in March, but there's like 6 people at that weigh-in.
Go look for ginseng or something, probably.
Yeah, I don't know, turkey hunting. Whereas people are up here to fish, they're up here to enjoy cabin time, and there's a bunch of people. There's legendary Rick Clunn and all these other elites in this one. Jay Shakirat, friend of the show, is fishing this one. So there's a bunch of people here. It's the last one of the year, and it's just kind of a cool thing to go check out while you're already here. Why not? So it's that's pretty fun. There's a cool vibe in town right now.
Awesome. Well, guys, Joe Titus, Matt Kennedy, good luck in the tournament. Appreciate the time here on the show. And, don't let the curse of the camera hurt you in the tournament.
Sorry.
We should mention, what you captured and, what you guys did down at Kentucky Lake and what we had, the video that we have on the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel. Really cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. Just showing not just catching the fish, but just kind of the emotional roller coaster that you go through in a tournament like this. And then we're filming it again So, I mean, Joe, from your perspective, having, the camera guy in the boat, does that change, how you approach things? Does that put a little more pressure on you? How do you feel about that? I
think it helps me. And I don't know if it helps everybody. I think it helps me because instead of thinking in my head all the time, I think out loud. Obviously, otherwise Dan would have some very boring audio.
It's so nice having somebody who talks without being prompted.
Yeah. So I think speaking out loud, I put more things to truth and I actually do them instead of just thinking about them. So in a sense, I think it helps me. If he gets in my way, it might hurt me, but we
haven't done that yet.
Yeah, so we're doing good. We are.
There you have it. First ever angler to go on record saying the cameraman helped. First one ever.
Maybe. I'll stick to my story.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
No problem, Joe. Yeah, no problem.
That's honestly a hard part about it. Dan and I have both been on camera enough now, and I know sometimes when I'm fishing, the last thing I want to do, especially if I'm not catching fish, the last thing I want to do is talk to the camera. Like, I need to just figure things out. Like, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? What do these fish want? And to be able to verbalize some of that and do it in a way that's interesting for the viewer, as spoken through the camera, that's not an easy thing to do.
Definitely not. I don't really think about the fact that he's back there. I don't know. Maybe I talk to myself more than I think I do.
We should hide a camera in your boat, apparently.
I can tell you confidently that I sing to myself a lot less with Dan in the boat. So maybe my mind, instead of focused on music, is focused on fishing a little bit more.
So I'm not the only one that sings in the boat, huh?
Yeah, no, not at all. Every once in a while, you just do a little groove, and I don't know. We're getting off track.
We got to get some turtle boxes for these guys, Bret.
Oh, for sure. All right, guys. Well, good luck this weekend. Dan, good luck with the filming, of course, too. But Joe, Matt, good luck. Good luck fishing in the tournament, and thanks for being on the show.
Anytime.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Sporting Journal Radio is a division of Macaba LLC. If you've got a question, comment, or story idea for us, send us an email. Go to sportingjournalradio.com. While you're there, you can learn how to advertise on the show and visit our store for hats, hoodies, coffee mugs, and more. Go to sportingjournalradio.com.